Do you ever have a periodical, a newspaper, or a book that has that pulpy, almost newspapery feel to it? You like the images, but you don't know what to do with it. Well, stick around. I'm going to show you what to do and also use up some book pages at the same time. Welcome to Junk Journal Gems. I'm Lisa, and I thank you for joining us. If you're a new subscriber, I welcome you. I hope you subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned to more crafting videos. And welcome back to those who are regular watchers of Junk Journal Gems. We're going to be making something a little different today. Try to bring you different stuff, but I have book pages coming out my ears like many of us journal makers do. And I wanted to use up some book pages. I also have this book, and you're not going to be able to see the whole thing on screen. It's Mammoth. You can find these sometimes on Facebook Marketplace or in like half price books, but it's 15 inches high and let's see, it's about 11 inches wide. But I get these because they are full of amazing images. I don't know if you could see that. Throughout the whole publication, and it's got some old antique-y looking things. I love these. But as you can see already, because of the type of paper that it ages, which looks great now, but I don't want it to age further. So what do? What I do is what we're going to do right now. So I'm going to take my book pages. I'm going to take about 3 of them here. And then what I will do is cut them into a size that will fit onto a journal page. So I just cut this is from an old book, well, from the last journals that I put in my Etsy. These are the book pages that were in the old novels from the early 1900s. But these pages are really thick, but they're very pulpy as well. You can also use thinner book pages and simply glue them together if that's what you'd like to do. You don't have to have something old and thick from the 1900s to do this. So let's just lop off these curled edges toward where they were sewn in toward the spine. And I like to even it up and have the margin approximately the same width. I don't measure, I just eyeball it. And then I like to leave the top on, but then kind of bring it up on the bottom toward the print. In fact, I'm gonna narrow this up a little bit too, I think. Whoops. Whoops, whoops. Maybe we'll try it like this time. Nothing wrong with trying new things. I'm gonna do this to this other one too. I've been getting along better with my little Fiskars trimmer. If you remember, for those of you who have watched my channel before, when I first got it, trimmer and I don't know, it took me a while to get used to it. I found that you really have to hold this still or it cuts crooked. And that's what was driving me nuts when I first got it. Okay. So we've got our book pages. Pardon me. I'm gonna get a drink here. Then what I do is I come into my gardener's catalog and I find some images that I want to use. And I find, where's my book pages, small enough so it will fit well. As you can see, I've hacked away quite a bit at this one. I shouldn't say hacked away. I've been enjoying it. That's a good way to put it, right? I've been enjoying it. This one's a little too big. I found 3 images. So what I do with them after I've got them cut out is I just use my tear ruler and shore up the edges to the size that I need. I like to keep the names on here if I can. This one's going to be tricky though. I don't think I'm going to be able to, because this compared to that is going to bother me. So we're going to do away with him. There we go. So there's one. Let's tear these guys apart. These will work. These I need to, well, let's see if we can keep them on, the names on first. Nah, they'll be too high. We're gonna come up and come into that a little bit. You just gotta kind of size it on here. You'll see why in a second. Okay. Holy schniblets. That will work well. That's 2. This one we're going to have to sacrifice the bottom of the floral image a bit. See how we're doing. Tell you right off, I got this crooked. Better. Okay. So now we need to get a little bit of cardstock to go behind. And I am just going to go for some cardstock scraps first. And I just cut it big enough so that it is just a border around my image. Cute. And we'll need another scrap. One of these might be fun. Almost ripped it. I would have been sad had that happened. Okay. Now I do my inking. I just like to have the edges just a little dark. Then I feel like they pop off this a little better. But be very careful because this pulpy kind of paper is usually more fragile, but we're going to take care of that. We're going to give it a little more strength. And just a bit here. All right, well now comes the interesting part. What we're gonna do is we're going to first, you know what, I don't know that these are straight. I've never been known to be the straightest cutter. So let's make sure, oh, that's way off. Way off I was. Much better. Let's make sure this guy's even Steven. Nope. Can you hear the squeaking? My husband is outside. He planted some grass when he was doing all the landscape projects, which of course now means that until everything grows, he's got to water it. So that's the exterior hose that's squeaking away. All right, lovely. Get our schnibbles out of the way. All right, so what we're gonna do now is glue with our glue stick our images to our cardstock. Just such a, this is the kind of project I like to do when I'm just looking to do some light and easy crafting. Don't have to think too much. Just want to chill. Talk to hubby, and we are gonna go get my flowers finally, if they have any left. Usually if I wait this long, it's slim pickings, but we have a lot of Amish floral places around the area, so usually they still have a good supply. All right, so what I want to do now, 1 second, is I get out my clear gesso, and the brand that I have is Finnabar's Art Basics. Doesn't matter the brand you have. This is just one that I got that wasn't a ginormous jar, because it would take me forever to use a ginormous jar of it. And then slather it on your image. This is what is going to protect and strengthen your image. You could also use matte medium or clear gesso to adhere your image to your cardstock, but I seem to do better with the glue stick. It's just personal preference for me. The other night I had gesso on my paintbrush here. When I was done crafting, I was like, oh, I'm done, going to bed. Guess what? Left the gesso, dried on my paintbrush. I couldn't be a serious painter, I think, because I would be the worst in caring for my brushes. I always forget about them. Okay, I'm going to dry these and I will be back when they are dry. All right, we are dry. I inked around the edges, and now, get that out of the way, we are going to take our book pages here and place our images. Let's see if any are ones. This is the biggest one. So here's our biggest image. That one. And then this one. Lovely. I'm going to glue these on. And you know what I might use? I'll just use this. I'm just going to put a light strip, whatever, of our glitter glue on, because after I get this on here, I am going to sew. I'm going to zigzag sew words around the edges. Now this one I didn't put I'm going to see if I can quick do that. Caught it just in time, I think. Put my little thumb hole notches in. My favorite punch to do the other ones. Now this one I don't want to go too deep because I don't want to cut out too much of the flower. Just enough. And I'm going to ink the divot. Glue these on. And then when I come back, I will have these all sewn down, and then we'll go to the next step. Ooh, this one got a little curly. That. Okay, let me sew around the edges and I will be right back. Show you what we're going to do. So these are ones that I did previous to filming, and I've been calling them book page library pockets just because I don't know what else to call them. I also did a little side pocket to go in a journal eventually, but it's just playing around. What I am going to do next is, I left my strings here. If you do sew yours, you can do that. Don't have to do it. Just gonna corner around these. I just kind of think that makes it look cute. Oh. I feel like I hear a beeping. All right, so now we've got that done. I think I'm going to, the last ones I didn't ink around, but I am going to ink around these, I think. Just lightly. When you do this, make sure that you're not using papers that are too brittle, because that's just not going to serve you right. And this is just a fun way to use up some book pages. And okay. All right. So now that we did that, I got some stamps. Where did I? Oh, I buried it. Here's my VersaFine ink. And I am going to stamp some images around the sides. And it just kind of, I don't know, it ties it all together, I think. I should have my book page underneath here. Goodness me. So that's this one. And then I think I'm going to come in here with this little guy. There. That's one. I just think those are fun. Let's do another one. Let's use, I don't know, I've kind of been dying to use this leaf. He's kind of big. I know. Oh my God, I get so excited. Crafting. There, yes, I like that. And now, I think we'll use this guy. It's just a little maple leaf. Let him dry. And then with this fella, fun way to play with your stamps too, isn't it? Where's the tail here? Or the stem. I don't want to use that one again. I'm going to try this guy again. There. So there are the library pocket book pages.